Hey, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to show you guys how to clone your C drive. Now, what's the point of doing this? Well, cloning your C drive to another drive is basically copying your entire Windows operating system in its current state, as well as all the files in their current state. So essentially, as the name implies, you're cloning your drive, and if you were replacing it, then you would pretty much take out your old one and select the new one as the boot device. Or if you were creating this as a backup in time, essentially, then you would just leave it alone or just take it out and leave the new one somewhere safe if something happens. But again, you're saving up at this point in time, so if you make changes later on, obviously it's not going to take those. Now, before you start, I always recommend backing up your data, especially on your target drive, because you're going to erase it. But I always recommend backing up your data just in case something goes wrong. One thing to note is the new drive has to be at least the usable size of your current C drive. Now, what do I mean by that? So disk 3 happens to be my C drive, which is essentially 1 terabyte. And I'm going to copy it over to disk 2, which is also 1 terabyte. So I'm good to go because these are equivalent drives. However, it doesn't actually have to be this large for the second one. It just needs to be large enough to accommodate what's being used on this C drive currently. So if I was only using 500 gigs on my C drive, then all I would really need is at least a 500 gig drive to clone it to, or larger. Alright, so here comes the part. So copy disk wizard. We know it's disk 3. We see the little C drive here. We know that it's disk 3. That's the one. So this is my source. This is not going to get erased, but again, just back up your data anyways, just in case. And this is the target one. So this one will be erased. So it says target disk content will be deleted. Notice mine is empty. Disk 2 is empty, which is the one I'm copying to. Again, this is going to erase everything, so make sure you back it up. Okay. So then I click next, and then it says, hey, are you sure it's going to be destroyed? We're going to erase everything. And I'm like, yep, that's fine. And then it lets me partition like at least this part of it, and then you could partition these other parts. So if you want to partition this now, feel free to, if you want to use it for something else later on. But I'm pretty much going to leave everything at max, which was the default setting. And then I'm going to click next. And it says to boot from new disk, you have to configure this in BIOS. Yep, I know that. And I'm just going to click finish. And then when you click finish, the cool thing about this is in case you messed up, it's not like, it's like that game Who Wants to Be a Millionaire that says like, is that your final answer? No. Okay, so now it becomes operations pending, and it says, hey, this is what we're going to do. Are you sure you want to do this? And then that's when I click yes, I'm sure I want to do this. And it says, hey, are you sure everything's good? And I'm like, yep, that's totally fine with me. So then I click start, and then it's basically going to copy everything onto that drive. And once this is done, we're good to go. Again, when you restart or when you turn on your computer, you're going to go into BIOS, and then you're going to go to boot options, and then you're going to select this new one as your boot device, assuming this is the one you want to use primarily, unless this was just a backup. But again, if this is a backup, it's only going to save it up to this point. So if you make changes later on after this, it's obviously not going to have those in this backup. So this is only saving its current state.
Few moments later.
Alright, looks like it copied everything over. It does appear that Windows assigned drives to each one of these, but don't worry about that. Once you take off the C drive or set this one as the boot, it'll figure it out and should work no problem. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you to all my current subscribers.